Hello and welcome to 5 ways to increase the leads and sales that your website generates without spending a penny on advertising. So this is all about how to make your website more effective without driving any extra traffic. So taking your existing traffic and squeezing more profit out of it, which is all good news because it doesn't cost a single penny. So the goal here is to show you how to generate more traffic through your website without increasing traffic. Now, the stuff that we're going to look at today works whatever your business size and market. Okay, because we're looking at things here which are fundamental principles of what drives human behavior online. And whether you're B2B, B2C, E2E, you're always H to H, right? Human to human. So the principles that we're looking at are all around psychology and messaging and stuff like that, which work for anybody, no matter what they're buying. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Tim Cameron Kitchen. I'm head ninja at Exposure Ninja. I'm also UK's best-selling digital marketing author. I've been at the forefront of online marketing since 2008, both running my own various companies and helping clients. And since 2012, I've been working with Exposure Ninja and run Exposure Ninja. And our services, books, training and consultancy has helped over 10,500 businesses in that time. And we've gone from 3 to 60 staff in 5 years. So it's been exhausting, but really good fun. So today's session, first up, we're going to go through an introduction to Ninja Style CRO. CRO is conversion rate optimization. So improving the conversion rate of our website. And the conversion rate is the percentage of people that turn into leads or customers as a result of being on our website. So let's say that 1 out of 100 people turn into a customer. We have a conversion rate of 1%. So conversion rate optimization is seeing what we can do to increase that percentage. Then we're going to look through the 5 ways to increase leads and sales without advertising. And then step 3 is how to start implementing this. Okay, cool. So one of the things that might happen through this video is you might find yourself saying something like, but my business is different because, right? So we're going to be looking at lots of different examples. Some of them you're immediately going to see are relevant to your business because there's a very close fit, or the language used is very similar. Others you might find yourself saying that they're not really going to work for you because of something else, right? Whatever that happens after the word because, you've got to fight it. When it comes to website performance, as I said at the start, every website has one important commonality, and that is that it's designed by humans for humans to make those humans do something, right? So the key principles behind why people do what they do online, they don't change. Doesn't matter what we're selling or to whom. So the more productive question is, how can I use this, right? If you find yourself saying, well, my business is different, this won't work for my company, think, that's interesting. It doesn't immediately feel applicable, but how could I use this principle? Because if you can crack that, that's an indication that it's something your competitors wouldn't be doing. Otherwise, it'd be standard practice in your industry. So I'm all in favor of finding things which don't immediately seem to be like they'd have any relevance, but there's got to be a way of working them and using them. That's how all of the most effective digital marketing strategies end up transforming an industry. So before we get started, this is the Exposure Ninja Marketing Circle. Now you'll notice that around the outside we have various different traffic and positioning sources. At the center of the circle is your website, and it's at the center for a reason. It doesn't matter how effective all of your traffic and strategy is. If your website sucks at turning visitors into customers, the whole thing is pointless, right? If you generate huge amounts of traffic, and we see this all the time, you can generate huge amounts of traffic. If your site is underperforming, if it's not turning that traffic into customers, then it's pointless. You may as well drive a small amount of traffic and convert lots of it, and you'll end up being better off. So this whole thing about conversion strategy is really, really important, and actually it's fundamental to the success of the business. So let's go through a quick conversion rate optimization primer. I'll just give you some basics as to the key principles. So let's first imagine that 1,000 people visit a website like this website here. Right, so a nice, good-looking website, probably cost a lot of money, probably took absolutely ages, much longer than anybody anticipated, including the development team. And it's been up. Everyone's very proud of it. We all share it all around with our newsletter subscribers, and we post it all over it on social media. 1,000 people visit that website. What happens? Well, here are some typical stats for you. Out of those 1,000 people, there's a group of 990 and then there's a group of 10. The group of 990 are the 99% that leave without doing anything, right? So they don't phone, they don't fill in an email form, they might visit a few pages, but they don't take any action with the business at all. Then there's the 10%, the 10 out of 1,000, so the 1% that actually decide to take an action. So they fill in a contact form, they get in contact, they write down an email address and they do something like that, or they phone. That means that 99% of the visitors to a typical website are being lost, right? A conversion rate of 1% means 99% are being lost. 99% of that traffic is being wasted. The shocking news is that for some businesses, a 1% conversion rate would actually be an improvement. Now, I spend all my time looking through analytics and reviewing websites for people. And it's amazing how many websites are converting at 0.25, 0.5%, even nothing, right? We've got some dead loser websites that we see. Incredible. It doesn't have to be like this. If you can take a 1% conversion rate and just increase it to 2%, so you only need to get 2 out of 100 instead of 1 out of 100, well, that doubles the effectiveness of your website. If you're currently at a 0.5% conversion rate, if you can just get, instead of having 1 of every 200, if you can get 2 of every 100, right, that quadruples the site's effectiveness. So this stuff is really, really important. It's as important as the traffic that you're generating to the site. So a conversion rate of 1% doesn't have to be like this. For example, here is a page which significantly outperforms the industry average, right? This is one of our own pages, and it's been so successful that we've built our business on it for the last 6 months or so. Now, what are the stats for this page? Slightly different. So here we have a very different split to the previous one. In this case, still, the majority of people look around this page and then leave. So 63.5% of the people on this page don't do anything. Right, they might visit some other pages on the site, they might have a look around, or they might just leave immediately. But out of 1,000, 365, or specifically 36.47% of people take the action. They do the thing that's intended on that page, they convert. And in this case, they become a lead for our business. Right, so we've got a 36.5% conversion rate on that page compared to a 1% conversion rate on the average page. Now, we could drive the same amount of traffic to both of those pages, but one of them is going to generate 36% more leads with the same amount of traffic. So you can see the impact of this is like completely transformational. If a website can get its conversion rate up, the results are totally different. So what is conversion rate optimization all about, and what are we going to be looking at in today's presentation? Well, basically it's about tweaking the layout, instructions and messaging on your website so that visitors do what you want them to do. Now, some of the things that we're going to be looking at today will seem obvious because they're so painfully logical. Just because they are painfully logical and they seem obvious doesn't make them any less important. And it also doesn't mean that you should gloss over them, because all of us are guilty of not doing the obvious. Humans are generally not logical beings, and in particular website designers are renowned for their lack of logic when designing a website. So you can have the most beautiful website in the whole world, but it might not have been built with any of these principles in mind, and you might find that actually it's really significantly underperforming. And in fact, that's a consistent trait amongst some of the most beautiful websites, is that they underperform, much to their owners' disappointment, because they thought that when they had this new website everything was going to be different, and they find out that actually when they get the new website it's same old, because it hasn't been built with conversion rate optimization in mind. So let's get stuck in. So 5 ways to increase your website's performance without generating any traffic. The first way is to set the right impression. Okay, and at this point, what I normally like to say, or what I'd like to invite you, is to say, okay, right, let's bring up your site on screen. We're going to have a look through your website in public. Lots and lots of people are going to do this. We're all going to have a look at your site. We're going to pick it to pieces. Okay, if you would feel a sense of fear by being asked that question in public in front of a lot of people, that's a really important feeling. If you're not proud of your website, you have to ask why. If you don't think that your website could stand up to analysis from a room full of people, that's a really important thing. This is too important not to get right. You should be proud of your website. You should feel that your website is, well, when we're building a website, we aim to make all of the sites we build the best in the market, right? The best looking and the best performing in the market. That's what your goals should be. You should not settle for mediocrity. If you've built your own website and you know that it's a bit iffy, you need to get that sorted. There's no point driving a ton of traffic to an underperforming website if you're not looking at ways to actively improve the performance of that site. Here's the reality. Here's an Amazon bestsellers page in advertising. You can see that the book in position 1, position 3 and position 7 are all my books. And you'll notice that actually the books in position 1 and 7 are two versions of the same book. So this book is the bestseller in advertising on Amazon. People judge books by their covers, right? I know this because this book was a dead loser when it had another cover. I designed the cover for the first version of this book and it did nothing. I got that cover designed professionally and the book did something. I got that cover designed again and improved and it did even more, and now it's a bestseller. People judge books by their covers. We're always told not to judge a book by its cover, but hey, guess what? If we have no other information, then the cover is a pretty good measure on what's going to be inside the book. If we have nothing else, we have to go on first impressions. When you meet someone for the first time, you are judging them by their appearance. You are pre-programmed to do that. Everybody does that. It's not a bad thing. It's actually a really efficient mechanism for living life. So actually judging books by covers is completely fine, totally predictable, and complete common sense. But this also means that people are judging businesses by their websites. So you think that your business is really awesome and you have a really good quality product, but yeah, you know what, the website lets you down a bit. You hope that the visitors to your website will be able to see through the average website or the below average website to see the quality of your product, the quality of the service, and the things that make you different. Unfortunately, they don't get that far. They don't perceive your business as being any different to your website. Their perception of your business is entirely guided by their experience on your website until they have other information which tells them otherwise. Right? So maybe they've been referred by someone. If they've been referred by someone they really trust and they said, listen, you got to check these guys out. Their website's terrible, but the business is amazing. Then obviously they have a different impression of you. But if they find you from Google and they don't know anything about your business, they don't know any of your positioning, they just land on your website, they are judging everything by your website. They're judging the quality of your product. They're judging your service. They're judging the character of the people that work there because they have no other information, right? This is this natural judging by first impressions, judging by appearance. It's what we're all programmed to do. Here are some examples of different websites. And what I want to do is just show you the difference in perception of the business between a below average site and a good website. So this first one here, what do we think when we see that business? Firstly, what does this business sell? No idea, right? They've got hygiene, medical, cleaning, maintenance. Slightly strange pictures there. Not really any idea about what this business is at all. Here's another page, right? This business clearly sells cleaning products. You can clearly buy them from the website. It looks professional, it looks quality, and it looks authoritative. This is the same business with the same market. Very, very different perception of the business with one and the other website. Now, obviously, this is an extreme example. Here's a slightly less extreme example, but it illustrates an important point. Now, first impressions are not just about the look of the website. Obviously, this website does look outdated, but it's also about the user experience and how the visitor is guided through the website. Now, this site has 28 menu options. Now, to read through all of those 28 menu options would take you well over a minute, which is about how long you've got in an entire website visit. So it's just not going to happen. It's like the index at the back of an Argos catalogue, right? It's completely impractical. So you generally don't want to give people any more than 7 menu items to look through because it gets confusing. And as soon as they get to the 7th or as soon as they get to the 8th, they've forgotten what's on the first one. So if you've got 28, by the time they've got to the 5th menu option, they can't even remember what the first one was. So asking people to choose through so many options is, completely impractical. Here's the redesigned site. Very different perception of the business as a result of this. Okay, so what have we done here? Well, we've included some things which we're going to be talking about today. For example, we can see they have credibility devices here, so some of the brands we've worked with. So rather than just that small pokey site with loads of menu options, we've got recognized brands that give immediate credibility and authority. We've also got 7 menu items across the top, so instead of having all those different menu items, which was really real nightmare to navigate, we've split things down and we have an Uber menu structure, so people can hover over one of them and it will open up separate menu options, which helps people find the information that they need quicker, which is what the home page should be doing. That's what your menu is here for, to help people find the information that they need as quickly and as stress-free as possible. So the takeaway here is, with this first impressions, your website needs to look the best in your market and be easy to use. That is absolutely crucial. So take a good, long, honest look at your website, and is that true for you? If it is, fine. If not, we need to look at this. Let's talk about mobile. 75% of web use will be mobile in 2017. That's an important stat. I'm not going to beat up on this. We know that people visit your website on mobile. We know that the mobile experience is really, really important to performance. Here's another stat from Google. 39% of Google users only search on mobile on a typical day. So that isn't saying that 39% of people use their mobiles to search. That's saying, on an average day, almost 4 in 10 Google users don't use any other device to search other than their mobile. So if your website isn't mobile friendly, firstly, you're going to struggle showing up in those mobile search results. But secondly, even if someone does get on your website, if it takes 5 seconds to load, they're gone. If they can't see what they need immediately, they're gone. If they've got to pinch and zoom to navigate their way around, they're gone, right? I'm not going to beat up on this too much, but obviously your website needs to be mobile friendly. Let's talk about text. So text is really important. Text is important to rank on Google. It's important to set the scene and explain your business to customers. Here's a website. These guys submitted their website to us to review. I don't want to pick on them. I have no relationship with them at all yet, although we might take them on as a client. They just sent their website over. They were top of the pile when I was making this presentation. So sorry, SkyCloud. I'm going to use you as an example. They need their website to rank and convert traffic better. So I suggested that they add text to this page. They said what a lot of people say, which is that they don't want to soil the nice design with text. Okay, I get that. I understand that, right? This site probably cost a good amount of money to build. The design company said, we want to make this really visual. We want to let the pictures do the talking. The trouble is, I have no idea from seeing this homepage what this business does, who they serve, or why they're better, right? I've got no reason to buy from them at all. No reason even to find out what they do. It's just a bunch of pictures. Some of the pictures seem to conflict. It looks like one of them, some people are being sold a house. In another, there's a big picture of some really technical servers and stuff, which if I'm a small business owner, which is their target audience, I don't really understand and looks a bit intimidating. And then we've got cloud services with a bunch of people in a room, and Sky News with a picture of a computer. I don't understand any of this. I don't know what those logos are at the bottom. I just don't get it. So without the text, this page is completely doomed. Any visitor that lands on this page, unless they know what this business does already and they're just coming to the website for validation, they're not going to convert. So this is going to be a very poorly performing page. One important thing to remember, this is business, not Tinder. So you need more than just pretty pictures to close the deal. In fact, even on Tinder, right, the point of the picture is just to start a conversation, isn't it? Whereas on your website, if you're not telling people that you're relevant for them, hey, you're not going to get the gig. Even on Tinder, you need that little byline which explains who you are and where you're based. Otherwise, people aren't going to, they're not even going to communicate with you. I met my wife on Tinder. Thank goodness I wrote a good headline on my profile. But if your website is just a bunch of pictures, what's going to happen? Nobody's going to be able to justify buying from you. So let's look at this site. And what I want to do is I want to just contrast the amount of text on this page with the amount of text on another website. Now, the other website that we're going to be looking at is Amazon. And Amazon has a number of differences to this business. First of all, anybody who visits Amazon likely already has an account. They likely already know who Amazon is. The product that we are being sold on the page I'm going to show you is very low price. So it's very cheap. It's a very low risk sale. Whereas going for, getting cloud hosting, which is actually what these guys sell, is very expensive, or can be very expensive, can be quite high risk. If you make a wrong decision, that can be very difficult to get things transferred over. So SkyCloud are promoting a high-risk service. Amazon are selling something very low-risk. This is a £1.99 book. Look at the amount of text on this page to sell a £1.99 book, which people can get an immediate refund if they're not happy. Well, we've got information about the product, we've got reviews, we've got information about the manufacturer, or the biography of the author in this case, and then we've got these user-generated reviews, and we've got a lot of them. So this is all social proof. So look at the amount of text that's been used here to sell a very, very low price product. More and more and more reviews. We've got 18 pages of reviews to sell a £1.99 book. So with that, do you think that you need to include a good amount of text on your website, or do you think that the pictures are going to do all the selling? Because after all, a picture's worth 1,000 words, right? No, we need to include a lot of information here. So the takeaway here is include enough text on your website so that even if the pictures weren't there, you would still make the sale. Okay, so that's point 1, is to make a good first impression. Point 2 is trigger something called "This is for me" within 10 seconds. That's the impact, that's the thing that we want our customers to say when they land on our website. I'm going to introduce you to an avatar. Homer Simpson is your website visitor. Not because he is stupid. Your website visitor is not stupid. Your website visitor is rushed. They're in between meetings. They're stressed. They have 10,000 tabs open on their computer. They've just spilled coffee down themselves. Their wife had an argument with them, or their husband had an argument with them. Their kids are vomiting in the background. The cat's just brought in a bird. This is the environment that your website visitor is in when they visit your website. So their characteristics appear to be like Homer Simpson, right? They're busy, they're stressed, and they're easily distracted. In order to get people to stick on your website, we need to trigger familiarity and recognition quickly. Okay, so we've got 3 main questions which we need to answer for Homer when he lands on our website. The first question is, does this business do what I need? This is really, really simple. This is all about providing a ballpark which says, yes, I'm in the right place. Okay, approximately these guys do what I'm looking for. They can solve my need. The next question is, are they right for me? So this is about answering the criteria that Homer has in his head when he's choosing a particular solution. So is there something about this business which makes them a really good fit for exactly what I'm looking for? So first question is a ballpark. Is this, am I even in the right place? And secondly, does this look like a good option for me? The third question is, what makes them better or different? So this is about filtering down. Once we've established that, hey, yeah, do you know what, these guys do look like a good option, then I'm looking for a logical justification of why I should buy from you rather than somebody else. Now, we answer these questions primarily, initially, in 2 ways: the headlines and the images on our site. In particular, the stuff that happens above the fold, so immediately on the site without forcing people to scroll down. So let's go back to the site that we looked at earlier and let's have a look at this. So what does this company do? Right, the headline there says, "The height of expertise." The subheadline says, "Welcome to High Access, where we take safety, speed and service to the highest level. No matter how specialist a job or project, our in-house team of work-at-high experts will keep your business moving." And then the call to action there is, view our services. Okay, so what does this company do? Well, it looks like something to do with abseiling. There's people with red cables and red hats on, so it might be some kind of abseiling thing. There's a high access thing, so I don't know. I surveyed people, none of them had a clue what this business did. Well, these guys provide maintenance and cleaning for the commercial property sector. Okay, I found that out because I checked out their about page and they had one little line which neatly summarized exactly what they did, and it said maintenance and cleaning for the commercial property sector. So one suggestion immediately: that headline that says the height of expertise is utterly meaningless to people unless they understand what the business is even all about. Right, we're not even at the stage yet where we're talking about our expertise because they don't even know what we do. Right, so scrap that headline and just say, hey, Maintenance and cleaning for the commercial property sector. Brilliant. Job done. Don't beat around the bush. Just remember Homer Simpson. Remember he's distracted. Remember he's got 10,000 tabs. He's just looking for which tabs he can close first. Does this business do what I need? Are they right for me? What makes them different? Here's another example. Always honest, always open, fresh ideas delivered daily. Now, I know I'm picking extreme examples here, but even if your website is not at this stage, there are going to be relevant things that you can take from this. So what does this business do? No idea. They probably spent ages on the particular shade of blue, the fonts used in those headlines, the fact that they're going to capitalize the H and the O, the fact that there are full stops, right? The call to action there is find out who we are. Well, I shouldn't have to dig around to find out who we are. I'm on your website homepage. You should tell me who you are. This website is for a marketing company. Unbelievable. They're asking Homer to dig around just to see if they might be a good fit. This is like a physical shop removing all of the signage, all of the products from display, just having one person at the background dressed in blue with a little spider plant with a big sign that says find out who we are, right? If you saw that shop, you'd be like, okay, idiots, whatever. Next. Here's a website for someone called Karen Yeomans, and I don't know Karen. I have no affiliation with her at all. I was checking out photographers because if you want to find some examples of poorly performing websites, then photographers are a good example because they tend to say that the focus needs to be on their photos. They tend to think that people buy a photographer because of the photos, and they're completely mistaken. So they let their photos do the talking, and as a result, there is no talking. Now, what does Karen do from this website? Can you tell? Well, not really. Now, it turns out actually that she's worked with Saatchi, she's worked with lots of different fitness brands around the world and has 20 years experience as a photographer, right? So she's a photographer, a commercial photographer. So what I would do, instead of having these people here, or you could have these people here, but put some text on the site that said sports, fitness and yoga photography from London to LA. So we're telling people about the things that she specializes in, sports, fitness and yoga photography, and we're mentioning the fact that she's international. She travels from London and she does stuff on the West Coast as well, so we know that she'd also do East Coast stuff. We know she'd probably do Canada, so people can make an assumption about the areas that she covers. Really simple headline. Then a little sub-headline that says something like 20 years experience working with some of the world's biggest fitness brands. Contact me for prices and availability. A nice little box that asks people what their job is all about. Ask them for their name, email, phone number, and a short message. Job done. Right. Immediately she'd be getting more conversions from this website. But likelihood is she won't do it because she doesn't want to cover up the picture with that horrible text and a nasty little box. And it's the mistake that everybody makes. Here's a good example. This is for Elation. These are not a client. We didn't build this website, but I do know Karen. And she's a sales machine. The headline on this website says, if you want more sales, then you have come to the right place. I mean, how's that for a headline? Immediately, she's telling you who this is for. Oh, I want more sales. Great. I've come to the right place. She's immediately putting the uncertainty to rest. The subheadline says, your business relies on you to make the right decisions. And if you want to thrive, focusing on sales has to be the top of that list of priorities. Bam. Straight away. Got it. Understand. I know that this business, this website has something interesting for me. The quote there says, until you have 100% market share, you can always sell more. So she's building credibility. She's telling you that even if you're selling, even if you're doing really well, you think that you're performing really well, she's saying, well, do you know what? You could be doing even better. Right? This is key. Absolutely key. Brilliant, brilliant homepage title. But this is not just about your homepage. Remember that actually people can come into your site through any page. This is analytics for our website, for example, for the last short period of time. And what we'll see here is you can see on the left-hand side, you can see all of the landing pages. So this is where people come into our site from Google. On the right-hand side, the acquisition column shows how many people came in through that page and what percentage it was. And what you'll notice here is that actually fewer than 1 in 4 visitors come in through to our website through the homepage. So if we're expecting everybody to go to our homepage, learn about who we are, and then go through to one of our other pages, well, we're completely mistaken in that assumption. If we require any prior knowledge of our business on any of our subpages, then we know that we're going to be confusing people. Your subpages need to stand alone. They need to be able to stand alone. Here's an example of a subpage for a site that we built. So these guys are business psychologists and they offer executive coaching, right? So executive coaching development is the headline. You can see that little blue box in the bottom right hand corner says, we can help you. Whatever the size of your organization, Davis Associates can help you select, develop, coach, and train the best people. Contact us. So that tells you exactly what this is for. We've got a nice clear headline there that tells people about the beliefs of this company. And then there's a free no obligation consultation box, which they can fill in if they're ready to go. You could send pay-per-click traffic to this site. You could send organic traffic to this, pay-per-click traffic to this page. You could send organic traffic to this page and it would not need any prior knowledge. Here's an example on a mortgage broker site that we built. Now this is a page for self-employed mortgages. And actually the page layout here looks quite like a home page. Well, that's intentional. This is not the home page. This is a sub-page. But for people who search self-employed mortgage broker, they might land on this page. So we need to make sure that it's acceptable and it works as a standalone page. So this page sets the scene with a headline that says, self-employed, struggling to get your mortgage. Our mortgage advisors help you find the home that you want without the stress. There's a little call to action at the side that says, self-employed, we can help you. Ask their name, email, phone number, optional, and what's your mortgage for. This is their lead capture form. So remember the 3 questions. What does this business do? Does this business do what I need? Well, self-employed mortgage. I need a self-employed mortgage. Great. Yeah, it does what I need. Is this for me? That little subheadline. Self-employed, struggling to get your mortgage. Yeah, great. Our mortgage advisors help you to get the home you want without stress. Brilliant. This is for me. What makes them different? Well, you've got that little box that says why choose our self-employed mortgage advisors and then has some clear benefit statements. So this is an example of a subpage which is designed to perform. The takeaway here is to use a clear descriptive headline on every single page of your site and assume that your people can visit your site, can enter your site from any page, right? So none of your subpages need prior knowledge. They are all functioning as standalone if needed. So that's tip number 2, to trigger what's in it for me within 10 seconds, or is this for me within 10 seconds. The third tip, every page should have a prominent and compelling call to action. So what do we mean by that? Well, every single page on your site has one goal. That goal is to generate a lead or sale, right? Every single page. People think that their About Us page is a chance for them to tell the visitor about the story of the business. It's there to generate a lead or sale. People think that the blog page is a chance for people to learn about the news and see behind the scenes of the business. It's there to generate a lead or sale. Let's look at the homepage and the purposes of your homepage first. Obviously, the homepage needs to introduce the business. It needs to trigger, this is for me. It needs to direct the visitor to the information for them. If they've come through to the homepage, they might not know what they're looking for, right? They haven't come through to a very specific landing page. They've come through to the most general page on your site. So we need to direct people to the information that they need as quickly as possible. And the homepage is there to generate the conversion, right? Generate the lead or sale. That is the ultimate goal of your homepage. Let's think about a product or service page. So if you're an e-commerce business, this is the product pages. This is where your product information is listed, where people can buy and add to cart. If you're a service business, this is the specific services that you offer. For example, if you're a business psychologist, this is the executive consulting or executive coaching page. Remember, the goal, again, is to trigger, this is for me. Answer those initial questions that people have. Explain the benefit of the product or service. Demonstrate credibility through reviews, testimonials, case studies. Make people realize that actually this is a good choice to make and it's a relatively safe option for them. And generate the conversion. Right, your product or service pages are there to generate conversions. The About Us page, one of the most misconstrued pages on any website. People think that, we've been established since 1974 by grand old Uncle Boris. Nobody cares, right? Nobody cares how long your business has been established, except in the context of what that means about how credible you are. So I only care about Uncle Boris in 1974 if that means that you are the safe option, if you are the leading business in this area. You're the best option for me because of that 1974 and the Uncle Boris. So things that your About Us page needs to do, say, this is for me. So trigger exactly the same thing. Explain the benefits of the company, right? So your story, the team, the only reason to have that information is to make your company more attractive. So what do your customers, what do your visitors want to see? What are the things that they value? And then we need to make sure that those characteristics are highlighted in your About Us page. Then demonstrate credibility. So again, 1974, Uncle Boris, that's great if it provides credibility. If it's just talking about you should choose us because we were established in 1974, well, that's weird. You should choose us because we were started on a Wednesday and I was born on a Monday. It's completely meaningless information to the business or the consumer that has money to spend on something that's going to move them to their goals, right? What does when you're established have anything to do with my goals? Well, if you're the best option in your market because you've been around longer than everyone else and you've seen it all and done it all, and in fact you built this industry, well, that's really important information. That is useful credibility. And the goal of the About Us page is ultimately to generate the conversion. So every single page on your website has one goal, which is to generate the conversion. Now, where do most websites put their call to action to generate this conversion? Remember that this is the single most important part of the page. The entire reason for the page's existence is to generate this conversion, to turn that visitor into a lead or a customer. So where do most people put this call to action? Well, unfortunately, sorry guys, Cloud Sky, here we go again. Where do they put this conversion, this call to action? At the bottom in text. So we have a little bit of text there that says, to find out how to cut costs and future-proof your IT systems, call us for a chat on 0845, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter what the number is. 0845 means no mobile user is going to call that because they're going to be worried about charges. And the fact that the thing is at the bottom of the page means that people are only going to see that. They're only going to see the call to action if they get through everything else first, right? Makes no sense. The whole point of the page is to generate the conversion. So your conversion goals should be the most visible element on the page. Let's look at Amazon, for example. When you visit this page, are you in any doubt what you are supposed to do? No. Big box, right-hand side, surrounded by white space, got a border, big fat yellow buttons telling you exactly what you need to do. When you visit this page, are you in any doubt what you are supposed to do? No. There's a big fat box on the right-hand side with a border surrounded by white space telling you what you are supposed to do. Great. Imagine if Amazon just put a little link at the bottom of the page below all the reviews that said, if you're interested in buying any of our books, call us on 0845. How many sales do you think Amazon would make? Right? Nuts. Absolutely nuts. A lot of people will say, a little bit like the pictures thing, they'll say, yeah, but I don't really want to cheapen the look of my website. If people really want me, they'll take the initiative to reach out to me. Yeah, okay, this is like the shy kid at the school disco, right? I'm dancing away on my own in the corner thinking, yeah, do you know what? I'm looking so cool right now. Those girls over there, I know that they're going to come over in a minute and they're going to start talking to me. I'm going to make them come to me. I don't want to look too desperate. How do I know this? Because it happened to me. I remember my mate Kerry comes over and says, hey Tim, we should go over and talk to those girls. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm just going to continue dancing here in the corner. Make them come to us. Ah, yeah. What happened? Nothing, obviously, right? The girls probably started talking to some other 7-year-old who went over to them and said, you want some sweets from my grubby hands, right? The truth is, in this world, people get what they ask for, right? They don't get what they deserve, or they don't get what society decides to hand out to them. So unless you actually ask for the sale with a nice conversion box, with a compelling reason for people to fill it in, you're not going to get the sale. Here's an example, right? This website they submitted to us, KMJ Solicitors, a family solicitors firm in London. Really cool bunch of guys. Unfortunately, they spent a ton of money on a website which was doing absolutely nothing for them. It was all designed by a very creative company, no doubt, who decided that, pictures and stuff like that was just completely pointless, and they just have some quite bland text and a very sparse layout indeed. Now, I should say, when they submitted this site to us, the menu wasn't as logically laid out as it is now. It was ordered in vertical fashion, which meant it looked like an address, not like a menu. and the headline was different, so it didn't exactly say what they were doing. That box on the right hand side was also not there. This site was underperforming, they were sending traffic to it, nothing was happening. We added that box, just the box, and it just says request a free no obligation consultation, fill in your details, and all of a sudden the site is converting. Why is the site converting now when it wasn't before? Is there any extra information? Not really. It's just because we've said, okay, what does Homer want? Homer wants to take an action towards his goal. So rather than forcing him to dig around and take the initiative, we're just going to put the thing that he really wants exactly where he expects to see it and let him take it. Right? And now the site's converting. So the takeaway here, make your CTA the most visible element on each page of your website. Your CTA is your call to action. So the next question that people often have is, okay, cool, so I need to put my call to action prominent on my page. What should my call to action be? What do I need to say? Well, I'm just about to answer that. The next tip is to make your visitors an offer that they can't refuse. Okay, so remember the goal of your website is usually to generate a lead. Having a call to action like contact us or inquire now if you're interested in our service will only get you so far. Yes, some people who already know you and who are absolutely desperate and ready to go now will contact you, but most people and people who are undecided won't. If we offer people something of value, they'll be more likely to give us their details. We know this is true in all areas of life. For example, that free consultation box, let's look at what it says. Request a free, no obligation consultation. Enter your details below and we'll be in touch to arrange a convenient time for a phone, Skype or in-person consultation at no charge or obligation. Then we ask for name, email address, phone number and message. So what are we offering there? We're offering a free, no obligation consultation. This is very low risk. This is quite compelling. If I need a family solicitor, I'm thinking about divorce, great, I can just get in contact with them. We can do a phone, Skype or in-person consultation. If I want to go to the office, I can. Sweet. If I'm too busy, I don't have to. We can do it over phone or Skype. Awesome. So it's low risk and high perceived value. This is not just a contact us and then no information. We're being very specific about what they're going to get when they fill in the information. And this is important. So think about what you can offer the visitors to your website. It should be low risk. So stuff like free, no obligation, make the phone number optional, right? Some people think, yeah, but we really want the phone number, particularly for service businesses. We really want the phone number because we've got a sales team that want to phone them. Well, what if they don't want a phone call? It doesn't mean they're a bad lead. It doesn't mean that they're unqualified. It just means that they don't want a phone call. They might get a lot of phone calls. They might work irregular hours. They might work nights. They might get loads of phone calls already. They might have a reason why their phone number isn't public. They might not have a phone, right? Whatever. We don't want to force them to give the phone number if they don't want to, because it doesn't mean that they're a bad quality lead if they don't. We want to make sure that our call to action, our lead generation bait, has high perceived value. For example, if we just say inquire now, that has one perceived value, right? What happens if I inquire now? Well, someone's probably going to try and sell me something. If I get a free consultation, what's going to happen? Well, someone's going to give me some advice, right? And being given advice is more valuable than being pitched. So if I get some advice, I'm going to get closer to my goals. That makes me happy. If I'm just going to be sold something, that doesn't necessarily make me happy. So the call to action should move people closer to their goal. It should also allow them to begin the relationship and demonstrate your value, right? So it's basically just a chance for you to start working with someone in order to show them that you're good at what you do. Here's going back to the example of our free website and marketing review. So here it says, did you know that most websites are leaking 45 to 85% of their profit? With a few tweaks, you can capture as much as 60% of that. Click the button below and one of our expert marketing strategists will record you a custom video showing you how to do this and lay out a step-by-step plan to increase your traffic through Google and social media. Get your free review now. And then we've got credibility devices there, as seen in Radio 4, Forbes and The Guardian. So if you contrast the perceived value of doing this versus most agency websites which just say something really creative and clever, like, I don't know, send us a ninja star, right? We could say something like, send us a ninja star, and then there's like a really cool contact form which has a picture of a ninja star or something. Or shout us, or talk to us, talk to us. What the hell is that, right? The perception of this free review is so much higher that we've built our entire business on this. This page converts almost 40% because the perception of what they're going to get is amazing, and actually what they actually get is even better than their perception. But the point is, we're offering people something compelling that they actually want. Here's another example for a dating agency. This is a high-class dating agency. You'll notice that the layout is familiar, right? We built this page because what their website wasn't converting. It just wasn't. It was zeroing, right? No leads from the website at all. So redesigned it, thinking about, okay, what do these people really want? So what we did instead of just talking about them and what they do is actually, we said, you have the highest standards for your love life, so do we. We guarantee to find your life partner in 24 months or we'll refund your membership fee. How compelling is that? Could that be any more compelling for a dating agency? No. Well, none of this information is new. They just weren't using it. So they had this stuff on their website, but it was buried in the copy. So we just took that and put it at the top. We also found that they've been featured in all these publications. Well, there's a lot of credibility there. And then we said, welcome to the UK's most exclusive matchmaking service. So again, more credibility. We're building the desire. The most exclusive. Wow. High standards. Wow. You know what? This sounds completely different to all the others that are just like, yeah, we're going to send you on 4 dates a week. Right? This is like exclusivity. The text there says, unlike most agencies, we reject most applicants. Wow. All of a sudden, this is the club that I want to be a part of. Right? Apply for eligibility check is the call to action. So this is something that they would have had to do anyway. They're not doing anything else extra here. They'd have to check people's eligibility anyway. So what they're doing is they're just positioning it as something which has a high perceived value. This page converts at 12% from dead, cold AdWords traffic. The current site didn't convert. There's no new information here. We've not made any new offers. It's just taking what they've already got, tweaking it and positioning it in a way that makes people actually want it. Here's another example. This is a homepage for one of our long-term clients, storage equipment experts. The main call to action here is, yes, send me my free checklist. So these guys are selling racking inspection and training. And people who want racking inspection, they need a checklist, right? It means that they can go through and they can check that they're conforming to all the standards and stuff. So this is a really useful call to action. So what we're not doing on this homepage is saying, hey, contact us now, do this now. We're saying, hey, get your free checklist. Let's just cut to the chase. Let's get you started, right? Let's get you moving. Let's get you closer to your goals immediately. So they click the button, they go to this page, which sells them on the benefits of the racking inspection checklist. They put in their contact details there to download your free racking inspection checklist. Amazing. That's exactly what I need. Email me my checklist is the call to action, then they can follow up. That form asks for name, required. Email address, required. Phone, optional, important. Business name and location, optional, important. Make it as easy as possible for people to convert. These guys are dominant in their market because they understand this and they've got sick SEO. Here's an example for a legal lead generation site. Now, legal lead generation is one that a lot of marketing companies will surround themselves, will surround the market with, because the leads that they generate from these sorts of things can be quite valuable. And here's one of our clients, May I Claim. Now you can see that they've got calls to action at the top of the site there, start your claim. They also have a claim form to the side of the page which says start your claim. Now we've talked about this, but they haven't done it, so I'm going to mention it here. Start your claim. What happens there? Well, imagine the mindset of someone who comes onto this page looking for a personal injury solicitor. Do they know if they have a valid claim yet? No, they don't. Do they know that these guys are the right option for them? No, they don't. So what's the problem with start my claim? Well, it's too high commitment. It's not low risk enough. They might be interested in finding out if they have a case, but here we're being asked to start our claim. So get this wrong, I might look embarrassing. I might be embarrassed, right? Oh, I don't have it. It turns out I don't have a case. They might say, why did you even start your claim? You don't even have a valid case. Oh, that's a bit scary for me. Right? This site still converts at 3.7% because the traffic is qualified, but it could be better. For example, here's a site that we built. Find out how much you could claim. How much more compelling is that? How much lower risk is that? Are you owed hundreds or thousands of pounds for store card PPI? So are you owed? There's a sense of entitlement. Hundreds or thousands, there's a question there. Both answers are good, right? We can help you find out if you're owed money for missold store card PPI. Wow, okay, you can help me find out if I'm owed it. Wow, okay, so that sounds much more compelling than if we just put start your claim, what do you think would happen? So this page doesn't convert at 3.6%. This website, this entire site converts at 33.67%. So of every 3 people that visit this website, 1 of them converts. That is insane. For a whole website conversion rate to be 33.67, it is ridiculous. That is the highest website conversion rate I've ever seen. Why? Because we're offering people something of value at very low risk. So takeaway here, your call to action has to be something that your audience wants and has no fear of requesting. If it's undesirable, if it's ambiguous, if they're a bit scared or they're unknown about what's going to happen, you're not going to convert. So that's the 4th thing. Make them an offer that they can't refuse. The 5th way to improve the improve the performance of your website is to demonstrate credibility. Let's talk about testimonials. Here are some stats from recent surveys. Moving testimonials to the top of the page can increase your conversion rate 34%. So just making your testimonials more visible. Remember, when people land on a website, they don't necessarily know the business. They don't know the product. There's a lot of scared people out there who think that everything on the internet is a scam, right? So moving testimonials to the top of the page and being proud of them can increase your conversion rate. Adding a review widget to an e-commerce product page can increase sales by 58.28%. So a little FIFO review widget, or a Trustpilot review widget, or a little review widget from user-generated reviews on that site itself can increase sales. Adding video testimonials can contribute to a doubling of conversion rate. Why? Because video, I can see the person, I can see that this is legitimate. Anyone can just write a little bit of text. If you want to fake a video testimonial, it's a lot harder work, right? Most people think, oh, video testimonial, yeah, okay, that seems legit. And here are the sources for those studies. Here's an example of using social proof, right? This is Betfair. Now, this is a landing page to get people to sign up for Betfair. I talked about how legal lead generation is something that a lot of marketing companies go into because the leads are very valuable. Well, betting is exactly the same. Betfair and sports betting companies will typically pay between, say, £25 and £50 for every person that you can get signed up to their service. Okay, so the performance of landing pages like this is really important. The sort of traffic that they're driving here makes a big difference. Now, what I want to do is focus your attention on the Bet on Mobile section at the bottom of that page. This was the original layout of this page, and they wanted to split test a few different things to see what would perform better in that area. So they tried this instead. They just put a list of the number of likes that they had on that page, and then it says, "We're confident you'll like our offers." Right? Pretty ambiguous. But what does that 121,000 do? Well, that gives them immediate credibility and social proof. Wow, okay, 121,000 people like Betfair. Amazing. Must be good. Just changing that increased the performance of this page by 7%. And now for a company like this, testing the amount of things that they test, that is huge. Huge. So if you have a decent social media following, get some mention of that on your website, right? Get a little sidebar, get a thing that shows how many likes that you've got. I just reviewed a law firm site, generic looking website, small and fake Facebook page. Small and fake looking site, didn't look particularly authoritative at all. I went on their Facebook page, they got 4,000 likes. Well, for a law firm, that's pretty decent. So they should be using that credibility. Get that on the website, that'll improve your conversion rate. Here's another way of using credibility. So I mentioned those logos there, as seen in, really useful to use them. If you don't have logos of recognizable things like Radio 4, Forbes and The Guardian, guess what? Just use logos of people that no one's ever heard of. The important thing is that you've got logos there which show that other people have chosen you, right? The fact that you've got logos triggers that part in someone's brain that says, oh, okay, yep, they've been used by other companies. Great. This makes this a safer bet than if I'm the first one, right? Nobody wants to be the first one into the restaurant. Nobody wants to be the first one into the nightclub. Not a cool place to be. So it's better to show that someone's using you than show that nobody's using you. So the takeaway: include third-party credibility signals anywhere you are asking people to put trust in you. So let's wrap up with a summary. So the 5 ways. Make the right first impression. So this is all about the look and feel of your website. It's all about the text, headlines, and images that you're using. Trigger "this is for me" within 10 seconds. So remember to answer those 3 questions. Does this business do what I need? Are they right for me? And what makes them different to their competitors? Use a prominent call to action on every single page of your website. Make sure that prominent call to action uses an offer that they can't refuse. Really compelling, high perceived value, low perceived risk. And then demonstrate credibility through the use of testimonials and case studies. So if you haven't yet requested a free digital marketing review, then head over to ninjareview.co.uk. We'll take a look at your website, we'll take a look at your competitors as well, and we'll give you feedback about conversion rate optimization, as well as how to drive more traffic to your site. So if you need more sales and leads from your website, head over to ninjareview.co.uk, fill in the details, and we'll send over that awesome 30-minute video. I hope you found this useful and look forward to talking to you soon.